Well, welcome back to Alan's Day. Just going to do the final walkthrough before we take the 2022 Hewes Craft 220 Ocean Pro out of the shop here. And I just want to do a brief overview of just some of the upgrades we did from since we got it about a month ago. Well, for starters, we put the some working lights on the top. You still have to get some working lights on the side and out of the back. Also, you can see at the very top there, you can see the solar panel up there that was set in. I'll show you that a little bit farther. And of course, the shop cat checking things out along here with me. One thing that has to be done yet is we've got to come up with a they've got a transom saver system just to help support these heavy motors out the back here. For right now, I just got a ratchet strap on there because there is a little bit of play in there, and if you go down the road for any amount of miles, and if there's a 1/16 of an inch play, you put 1,000 miles on there, and that play is going to be a whole lot more once you slop out going down the highway. So just got to work on a system for that. Like I said, we just got this strap on here temporarily to get it down the road. Some of the upgrades we did on this have been just a couple of simple things to start out with. Just something like put a stainless steel rain cap over the top of this door, because what's in this door is all the electrical, and it just didn't seem like it was going to seal that tight to keep the salt spray and out of there. So I went and turned that on just so I can show you what we got for lights in there. Another area that we worked on in here was switched everything out and put Interstate batteries in here, just a little heavier version than what originally came with here. Also did a little bit of work on trying to secure that fuel tank for the heater. When we first got it, there was some raw edges on the aluminum, some screws sticking up from the bottom, and not much for straps holding that in there. So went ahead and got a battery box strap, put that on there, put some edging around there, and put a base in there. I'm assuming there's something a whole lot better than this, than that plastic jug, but that's all we got for right now. We'll figure that one out. So that shuts up. I'll shut that up later. And a couple other things we noticed is just in the bottom corners, you can see daylight going through on both sides, down through the bottom into the cabin there. I'm assuming water shouldn't be flowing freely into the cabin. Yes, water's going to get in there, but we can keep a little bit out. Some of the other things did on there is put in the shore power. Right now there's an adapter sticking out the outside. Made a antenna bracket to hold the antenna, and then the 200 watt solar panel put up on there. Put a little bit of bend in the aluminum there, and these clamps worked out pretty slick for mounting to the rails. That way we didn't have to do any drilling, except there is a single hole underneath to accept the wire coming through. But otherwise the goal was not to do anything too much to the boat here, keep it as much as stock as possible. And then we use those same brackets on these lights. And so I gotta go through because the cat's trying to trip me coming through here. And this light, like I showed before, is a real nice light on there. They're a real high-end light. made by Rigid. Pretty decent, got them working. They look pretty clean. They're going to be able to handle what we have to handle on here. Just going back through here, come inside. And we come into the inside of the cabin here. Remember before it was just a mess in here. I had everything, tools and everywhere for a while. Open this door up, get all the way through. Currently there's just this little light in the back here. We want to put a couple of those good Rigid floodlights. One in the corner there, and like I said, one on each side. Get a little more light if you're pulling up to the docks at night. You can really light the area up. Starting in the back here, behind this seat here, this pops up. There's a furnace back behind this panel. I made this white panel up here. There's just a lot of exposed wires just hanging out there that if this gets turned into a bed, you don't want to be sticking your feet into the heater at night. Also did a little bit tidying up some wires, putting some loom on the fuel cables. And then one thing I noticed is these seats aren't interchangeable, so I marked this one left side. I know it should be port side, starboard side, but chances are some of the guys that are going to be riding in here aren't going to know the difference. So we got that set up there. Also, like I said, this turns into a bed, so I made a couple of boards up, and they go all the way across into here. There's one in the back, one here. And on this side, and what that does is then you take the cushions off of here and you fold those across. The other cushion comes out, and then you've got a bed in here. And that's what I was saying. I just didn't want to have it so that at least if your feet are down there, you're not sticking them into the wires in the hot heater. And then on this side, this is where all the inverter power and everything set up. The main power switch is right there. That fires everything up. We've got different USB plugs throughout here. Those are finally all hooked up. So we can charge up the engine battery with these two, solar and inverter. Those are split up. Your solar power coming in there. There's your 110. Everything's all on a separate circuit breaker, so you can shut any portion of the system off if there's a problem, and the other part of the systems will still work. So got that set up. Going through, put a fan in there, and that's powered with a switch on the dash here. Well, let me turn the cab lights in. Originally when it came with the cab lights, there was just 2 lights up on the ceiling here. That wasn't nearly enough to do anything in here, so added some LED lights up on the ceiling. So there's 2, 3, one under there, 4, 5, 6 LED lights. Set this up. These are a real good light. I use these on everything. These lights here are made by or sold by Rigid Hitch, which is different from the Rigid lights. And here's the part number. If you're doing any work on trucks, RVs and you want to have extra lighting put underneath places, this is the go-to. I put and everything gets these lights to start getting some more light. It's so much nicer when you can see what you're doing when you get in there. So, yep, that's the lights. And what else we got going on in here? Oh, we've got the, mentioned that before. This is the furnaces installed by the dealer, but they did not have a shut-off switch, so you'd have power anytime that you had the boat on. You had full power to the heater, and there's all kinds of different settings and controls in here, which I think it would be very easy to accidentally misprogram that and have that heater running when it shouldn't be running. So just put a master kill switch to the power, sort of rerouted the wires, fused that. There again, more USB and USB-C plugs with the voltage gauge on here. I like the voltage gauge because battery right here, and this is the engine battery right here. So that way you can tell what's going on with both batteries at a glance just from sitting here. Also I added place to put the cell phone. That can just lock right into these particular ones right here. Put these, every vehicle's got one or two of these. They fit up, they hold laptops, they hold whatever you need to hold on there. So it's a good system, mounts on a ball, heavy duty. So these go in everything that we've got too. Some of the other areas, it was just cleaning everything up. But now that we're into the boat here, I just have to figure out how all this stuff works. Chances are I'm not the one that's going to be using it at the very beginning. That's going to be my son Justin. But there's just a whole pile of stuff that's got to be looked at and figured out on here. And one of them is this Lowrance navigation system. That's what the satellite bracket is up on the top. So we've got that. We've got another control panel here that all runs the motor. There's different things on here. The dealer did an excellent job putting a video together of all these different systems. We just have to go through. I've got to look at them again, and all the guys who are going to be on the boats are going to have to watch those as part of our safety program before anybody takes this boat out. And then we've got it's a glorified CB up here. Not quite sure even how to turn the dang thing on, but I know it's something that's very important. So that's one area when we spec'd this boat out, is that we didn't, anything safety related, we made sure that we did our best to set that up. So about the only thing I figured out so far on this is you can see where the boat's at right here. It's right in my garage right there. So that's where the boat's at. Now, where it's going to end up next week, it's going down right there. It's going, we got a job that's out on an island out near Savannah, that the boat's going to be down there for the next year, shuttling the guys, the crew, and tools back and forth from the island is what its main purpose. So yeah, this is a whole lot fancier. The last time that I was on dealt with any navigation was back when I was young and dumb. I was a commercial fisherman for several years out in the bay, which doesn't seem like much out there, but the thing was, had a 1928 gillnet boat with a little frickin' flathead 6 motor on there that took 2 sub pumps to keep it floating at the dock. And that's what I went out and did my fishing with, or at least tried to do some fishing with. And yeah, back then, the only thing that was on there was a compass and a lot of hope to make sure that you get yourself back. And I guess the only life lesson I took away from that was when you're on the water, do whatever it takes. Back then, as much as I tried to save up, I couldn't even buy a life jacket. A life vest was my only wish that I had. It was a life vest the times that we were out there, and never could afford a life vest for the couple years I had it. There was a couple old seat cushions that came with the boat, but they were pretty hard. So life lessons, fast forward about 40 years, and navigation. There is half a dozen life dozen life preservers underneath the cushions. Oh, something's beeping at me here. It says close. No, I have no idea. I better shut this thing off here. I know how to shut the button off. So anyways, that was a little bit about what's happening with the boat and where it's going from here. So, like I said, we're going to be very happy with the way it's set up. Just turned out to be a real nice. So it's gonna tomorrow. Gonna take it to the shop and start filling it up with all the safety equipment, anchors, and everything else that's required to float this thing down the water. So, well, I got it all cleaned up. So, next step is see if I can get this pulled out of here. The only concern is pulling it out of here. If I just pull it out straight, you can see that the top of the tracking system and the door, they're going to crash. So I got to get the tractor in here and drop the hitch down all the way to the ground and drag it out the door and then lift it up so it doesn't crash. Which is not bad because it's only got to go in here. Hopefully this is the last time it's got to be in here. Because the thing is going to be all set up and good to go. So, well, we'll talk to you later.
Does that go up any higher?
Alice Chalmer out of retirement to get it out of the door, and the boat, well, those lights work pretty good. It's going to work a lot nicer when we've got more side lights on there, but just getting it pulled out now. I'm going to hook it up to the pickup truck and take it into the shop and finish prepping it so that in a couple of days it can head south. Thank you for watching Alan's Day. Life is about making choices. Some things are already perfect. Some things you may choose to upgrade. This channel will show you both. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thanks again.